Yes, I think that one of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
by design.
Yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are.
Right.
And they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, they're all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
No. It's not even something you should want. Why do you want to look great all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So I think things like that can make people quite sad.
Well,
just by comparison, because you just sort of people generally think of themselves relative to others. We are constantly rebaselining our expectations.
This battle that's going on between Tim Cook and Facebook, I fucking love it. I love that he's stepping up and saying, hey, you can just advertise. You don't have to gather up people's data and sell it constantly. And then disingenuously, Facebook tries to say, you are killing small businesses with these decisions. The fuck out of here. You're not killing small business. We're killing this one gigantic information gathering business that's decided that it's going to take all of the data that people didn't know was valuable and sell it and make fucking billions of dollars.
Yeah, well, I mean, even perhaps arguably worse, they're going to feed all that data into their the AI that they're developing. It's called Facebook AI. You can follow them on Twitter, and they're like, let's just feed all this information into the AI and see what it does. Who knows what would happen? It seems like, I don't know, some dystopian outcomes are possible. Well, I think things that are a danger to the public should have some kind of public oversight.
Yeah.
So, although sometimes we have our disagreements, I'm, in favor of the FAA and NHTSA, and the various regulatory agencies, FDA and so forth. I'm in favor. I think we're better off having them than not having them. There is a risk reward asymmetry in that they tend to be perhaps not weigh the good as much as they weigh the bad. Because their incentive structure is they get punished a lot for approving something, but they don't get punished that much for not approving something. So that's just in the nature of government. But nonetheless, I think everyone would feel safer flying with the FAA than not having an FAA. Or we feel safer buying food and drugs, having a regulatory agency oversee this stuff. But we don't have any regulatory agency overseeing artificial intelligence.
Right.
And another point that I think is really important to appreciate is that all of us already are cyborgs. So you have a machine extension of yourself in the form of your phone and your computer and all your applications. You are already superhuman. But by far, you have more power, more capability than the President of the United States had 30 years ago. If you have an internet link, you have an oracle of wisdom. You can communicate to millions of people. You can communicate to the rest of Earth instantly. These are magical powers that didn't exist not that long ago. So everyone is already superhuman and a cyborg. The limitation is one of bandwidth. So we're bandwidth constrained, particularly on output. So our input is much better, but our output is extremely slow. if you want to be generous, you could say maybe it's a few hundred bits per second or a kilobit or something like that output. The way we output is like we have our little meat sticks that we move very slowly and push buttons or tap a little screen. And that's just extremely slow. Compare that to a computer which can communicate at the terabit level.
I think security is a huge concern. Like cybersecurity, I think one of the biggest risks for autonomous vehicles is somebody achieving a fleet-wide hack. In principle, if somebody was able to hack, say, all of the autonomous Teslas, they could say, just as a prank, they could say, like, send them all to Rhode Island from across the United States. And I'd be like, well, okay. So we got to make super sure that a fleet-wide hack is basically impossible, and that if people are in the car, that they have override authority on whatever the car is doing. So if the car is doing something wacky, you can press a button that no amount of software can override. That will ensure that you gain control of the vehicle and cut the link to the servers. So that's pretty fundamental. Within the car, we actually have, even if somebody gains access to the car, there are multiple subsystems within the car that also have specialized encryption. So the powertrain, for example, has specialized encryption. So even if somebody would gain access to the car, they cannot gain access to the powertrain or to the braking system. But it is my top concern from a security standpoint at Tesla, is making sure that fleet-wide hack or any vehicle-specific hack can occur. They have the same problem with cell phones. It's kind of crazy today that we live quite comfortably in a world that George Orwell would have thought was super crazy. We all carry a phone with a microphone that can be turned on really at any time without our knowledge, with a GPS that knows our position, and a camera, and kind of all of our personal information. We do this willingly, and it's kind of wild to think that that's the case. The phone, like Apple and Google, kind of have the same challenge of making sure there cannot be a fleet-wide hack or a system-wide hack of phones, or a specific hack. So that's our top concern. It's going to become a bigger and bigger concern.